No, just what happened to fish? They want to be in water with the right temperature, huh? So right now it's getting hot because it's the morning. So they don't want to be in the shallow water, so they are going to
the deeper
water. But what happened at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's too cold in the deep water, so they go to shallow. Where do you want to catch them? In shallow water.
Especially
Okay?
10 nets.
So that's about the time. So when people used to go fishing, from 3 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock. Okay? By the way, still today, I'll challenge you. Wake up tonight at 3 o'clock in the morning, and from your window, I want you to see how many fishermen you can see. And then go at 6 o'clock in the morning to the fish market in Tiberias and see what they sell. And later on, you will eat it on your plate on lunchtime.
Wow.
Okay?
Smiling.
So that's fishing. That's about the time. Okay? How far from the shore you're catching the fish?
I don't know.
Do I need to go to the middle of the lake?
No.
Do I need to go to the other side?
No.
If you're a fisherman that lives here, why do you need to go to the other side? There are pigs over there, and demons, and pagans, and so on. We don't want to go to the other side. Do I need to go to the middle of the lake? No. All I need to do is to go about 100 yards from the shore and catch the fish. So the distance is 100 to 300 yards from the shore. But it's very late at night. You don't know where the shore is. What do you need to do to remind you that this is where the shore is? Like a lighthouse, okay? So just to make a symbol and so on. For example, there is not far from here, you see over there, we're going to get closer later on. There is a place where there is a tower. The word lighthouse in Hebrew is Migdal-or. Migdal-or. Okay? Migdal means tower, or means light. Okay? Light tower. Okay? And there is a town over there. The name of the town is Migdal. You probably know it because a girl named Mary came from that town, and
Mary
you call her
Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene. It means Mary that came from the city with the tower, or with the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, that's about distance. How many people can be on a boat?
Not too
A
many.
fishing boat at that time?
Maybe not too many.
50?
12?
50, that's this kind of boat.
Maybe 12?
Well, the most common answer that I got was 13. Because everybody think that Jesus went with the 12 disciples.
He was
And the
walking
answer
on the
is
water.
never. Because when you read the text again and again, he never went with all the 12 to fish.
Took
Okay?
turns.
Most of the ancient boats, the size of them is a lot smaller. I'll show you one of them later on. It means between 4 to 6 people that can be on that boat. Okay? So we have the time, we have the distance, okay? We have the size of the boat, we understand the connection to the shore. Now, how do you catch a fish? The net. Let me ask you something. If this is the boat, this is the deep water, and this is the shallow water, and we are 100 yards from the shore, where are you going to cast the net? To this side or to this side? So that's the deep. You want to go to the shallow. So every fisherman automatically would put his boat here. This is the shore. The wind brings the waves and the fish and so on from here, and all you need to do is do it this way. Logically, you do the same thing again and again, the same size, until Jesus tells you to. Okay? So we have also the technique and so on. What kind of fish would you catch here? There are about 27 types of fish in the Sea of Galilee. 27. The most common one is called Galilean tilapia. It's the same the tilapia that you're familiar with, but it's different. It's unique because you can find it only here. So the term is Galilean tilapia. But we're not calling it Galilean tilapia, we call it St. Peter fish. Okay? You will have it for lunch. Okay? It's a whole, one central bone, tail and a head, and it's a white fish, very healthy. And this is the most common one. You catch it with kind of more or less at that size. Smaller, you just bring it back, and so on. Today there are all kind of regulations to not to overfish and so on, and sizes and so on, and more than this. But the idea that in ancient times it was good enough to catch enough and to live. But let's say that you caught 5. What are you going to do with 5 fish? You caught 5 fish. What? Feed it to the... No, 7 fish. Okay, 9. What do you do with 9 fish? You go and eat, no? When do you eat fish? Lunch, dinner? No. Breakfast. Why? Because you caught it from 3 o'clock in the morning to 6. You can't wait until dinner. You don't have a fridge. There's no ice in Israel. Did I show you ice here? No ice in this country. No, but the idea that 2,000 years ago they probably did not have a fridge. So what do you do with the fish? You immediately cook that. Okay? So most of the people had fish for breakfast. What happened if you caught 27 or 37 or 900? What do you do with the fish? Sell them. Well, we think like Americans, or like we live in a Western civilization where you have a little bit, you have more, you need to sell it to someone else. But all the people here are fishermen. Yeah. So barter, you can give it to someone and he will give you meat or wheat or grapes and so on. But you've got a lot. What are you going to do? How are you going to preserve it? What do you need to do? Salt. Very good. So you preserve the fish and make salted fish. By the way, Magdala is one of the centers of salted fish in all of this region. So a lot of fish were salted over there and became later on were used. But by the way, there are other options. You can smoke fish and you can cook the fish and eat it later. Okay, for a short period of time. But you cannot store fish, okay, for a long time.
Unless it's tuna, you can't.
You pickled it. You can pickle it. Yeah. But the idea that this is the way how people deal with fish. But officially, if you're catching and you are every day going and getting the food for that day, it's like we say, give us our daily bread or give us our daily fish, and that's what we need. In the Old Testament, it's mentioned as just enough. When they walked 40 years in the desert, they did not have stores of manna. They just had just enough for that day. So in many ways, that was even the perspective here. We have just enough for us, and we will store or salt fish for later on, for rainy days. Okay? So this is the life of a fisherman. Okay? This is your job. So if you wake up at 3 o'clock and you work until 7, okay, what do you do next? Think it like a fisherman. Okay, what do you need to do?
Fix your nets, clean your boat.
Fix your nets, clean your boat, get ready for tomorrow, make breakfast, fix your bait, what else?
Did they sort the fish?
Sort the fish, making all the... Sleep, very good. Okay. I like you. A good morning nap, that's always give you a lot of energy for the rest of the day. What do you do next? Well, you work from, again, you fix all of this between 7 to 11. What do you do next?
Go have some nice friends.
You go with your friends. You take the boat for traveling every day. I mean, you're tired of that. Well, talk about what you caught. Okay, so it's about life. Maybe you're also a farmer. Okay, maybe you have time so you can go and learn more. Maybe the rabbi is available and you can hear his teaching. Okay, so I want you to understand the life of people at that time. Okay. Now, is that peaceful lake right now? But sometimes we have storms. Where the winds usually come from in Israel? From the west. So all the time, most of the time, we have that kind of wind. But sometimes we have what we call sharkia in Hebrew and Arabic. It's an eastern wind. It comes from the east. And in the east of Israel, we have deserts. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. Desert storm. Someone experienced a desert storm in his life? What does it mean? Very strong winds, a lot of sand, no visibility. You can't see anything. I mean, I can't see my sergeant from yesterday. Dawn is very clear right now, but when we have a sandstorm here, we can't see one another. Look how crazy it is. Sand, it heats, and it's so hot. Okay? And what happens if waves are coming from this side and from this side? Troubled water. It happens still today, often. We always check before we do the tours. Someone asked me to arrange a storm, and I said, well, you should have asked me before. We can arrange that. But there are some storms here. But what happened when there was a storm here and Jesus was on the boat? Why did he took a nap when you're on a boat fishing? Because it was in the middle of the night. Yes, he was tired. That's number one. Second, did we know that Jesus was a fisherman by himself? No, maybe he joined the fishermen, so they worked and he was in the middle of the boat. Third, I don't know, I'm just asking questions right now. But definitely it's mentioned that he was sleeping and they wake him up and said, we have a problem. Okay? So today we say, Houston, we have a problem. They used to say, Jesus, we have a problem. And he woke up and calmed the storm. And of course everybody said, wow, how can you talk to the storm and calm the storm? But I wanna read something also for you. You okay with those?
Okay, this is from Mark 6, verses 45 through 56. Jesus walks on water. Immediately, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to Bethsaida, while he dismissed the crowd. After leaving them, he went up on a mountainside to pray. When evening came, the boat was in the middle of the lake, and he was alone on land. He saw the disciples straining at the oars because the wind was against them. About the fourth watch of the night, he went out to them, walking on the lake. He was about to pass them by. But when they saw him walking on the lake, they thought he was a ghost. They cried out because they all saw him and were terrified. Immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." Then he climbed into the boat with them, and the wind died down. They were completely amazed, but they had not understood about the loaves. Their hearts were hardened. When they had crossed over, they landed at Gennesaret and anchored there. As soon as they got out of the boat, people recognized Jesus. They ran throughout the whole region and carried the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, into villages, towns, or countryside, they placed the sick in the marketplaces. They begged him to let them touch even the edge of his cloak, and all who touched him were healed.